Well. Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Sunday Bunch here on SAFC Fan TV. We're here to talk all things Sunderland, including that fantastic win we had yesterday. Joining me tonight, we've got Terry, Gary, and Emma. Terry, how's your day been? Have you had a good one?
Yeah, Sundays are always the same. Just chilling out, going for a walk, just the usual recovery from the exciting football.
Good. Gary, how's your day been?
Yeah, it's been decent. Yeah, no complaints. He had a roast dinner, so it's always a good way to see off a Sunday, isn't it?
Well, yeah, for many people, the old Sunday dinner is up there. I must admit, not one of my favourites, but there you go. Emma, who is not very well at all, she's been trying to get sympathy off us three before we came on air. No doubt she's going to try and get sympathy off you lot watching as well. Emma, how's your day been?
Yeah, it's been all right. Felt a little bit shopping this morning, then pretty much chilled the rest of the day.
Are you feeling all right, though?
No, I'm feeling like crap. I keep getting whatever's going round, and I get rid of it, and then I get it again, and I start antibiotics and steroids. I'm just like, nah, I can't go with it anymore.
Right.
Stop hanging around with dodgy people.
What, like you, Terry, and Phil?
Yeah, you was with us yesterday when you. Never mind, all right. I pass lots of things on to girls, but never mind. Let's not go there, shall we not? SJ 3000 already. Oh, by the way, we are live, which means you can join us via the live chat. Come and have your say. Be part of the show. Get involved. We'll mention as many people as we can. SJ is a regular on there. Thanks for joining us, Peter Harvey. So he's on about the match of the day thing. We are going to touch on that, Peter. Ian Wilkinson there as well. Stephen Thornton there. Emma, who's actually on the show, is commenting as well. So I haven't got a clue why that is. But there you go. And Spence Backwards, Coffee Goblin, and our friend Tony Lee is there as well. So don't forget, of course, we are sponsored by Wolf Competitions this season. That is wolfcompetitions.co.uk. There is a link in the description if you would like to, just have a look what all that's about, and we'll tell you a little bit more later. Sunderland 2, Crystal Palace 1, back to winning ways. We were desperate for the 3 points there. Terry, starting lineup, was it as you expected?
Yeah, no, not really. I predicted Hume to be on the bench. I had no idea that Hume would be starting as a right winger. I think that's why we started. I mean, I'd prefer Miyenda. Of course, Traore is out injured, so it's down to Miyenda or it's down to Hume. But clearly, he fancied Miyenda to come on and replace Brobbey, so that maybe that's the reason why he started Trey Hume. But the rest, I kind of agreed with. Mundle, I thought Mundle was a bit of a surprise over Adingra, to be fair. I don't think Adingra's done much wrong. I know he hasn't been one of our better signings, and it might come good next season or the back end of this season, but I still think he probably warrants a start over Mundle, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, end of the day, Regis Labris is their head coach. He knows what he's doing. He knows how fit the players are, how they're doing on the training. I thought Mundle's been doing okay over the last couple of games, so fair enough. Fair play.
Yeah, great stuff. Gary, you saw the lineup. Was it as you expected?
I think the bit I wasn't sure about is whether he'd throw Ronaldo straight back in after AFCON. Because obviously we don't know what state they've come back in, in terms of fitness and the rest of it. So I wasn't sure he'd start him, but obviously he did. And then when you think, as Terry said, what do you think of Trey Hume? I didn't expect to see him right wing, I've got to say. And then same as Terry said, I wasn't expecting Mundle. I would have thought that was Adingra's place to lose, really. And I'm not sure what Adingra's done wrong. He's had a go, but has Mundle been that much better? I'm not sure. So I didn't see that one coming.
Right, okay. Just very quickly before I come to you, Emma, I want to go to the chat here. Macam Cabby's on there, says good evening, everyone. SJ, how can you not like Sunday dinner? We just never had them growing up. That was all. Just not for me. Cheesy chips and stuff like that, and a bottle of Blue Panda Pop. Yes, Terry.
I had a Sunday dinner last night for Saturday night tea. It was lovely.
Good. There you go. Well done. Sexy C1E obviously needs a trip to Vision Express. He says, hi, gorgeous Emma. Speaking of which, Emma, starting lineup, were you happy with it? Was it what you expected or what?
When I seen the lineup, I was like, is he going to back five? what's he doing with Hume? Where's Ingra? So them were the biggest ones, was the fact that Hume was on in Mundle. So it's basically what both Terry and Gary have said. They're the two that surprised me, but the rest of it was as we expected, really, to be honest with you.
Right, okay. Just very quickly, I want to jump on the chat here because Johnny Cool says Hume had a decent game. Ian Wilkinson is saying as soon as Diarra gets back in place of Hume, the better. So there you go, a difference of opinion there. It's all about opinions, and you can have your say via the live chat. Of course, we are live. Take part in the show. You need to do that. Johnny Cool on about match of the day again. We will get onto that. Don't worry. We'll do that. And don't forget, of course, we try and get 100 likes if we can on a Sunday. Just hit the thumbs up. We'll take you a second to do that. Let's get that to 100. And our subscribers are starting to go back up again. So thanks to you for that. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And of course, it's free to subscribe. So that will help us as well. First half then against Crystal Palace. I mean, I know they've not been on the best run of form, but they're still, not a bad side really. Do you think we rode our luck a bit in the first half, Gary?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I thought we were quite fortunate. I mean, obviously we've been defensively solid all season, but sometimes I think we bring problems on ourselves, and it's all a bit last gasp. And I think we were cutting out some of these crosses and these balls in a bit earlier. You wouldn't have, 3 or 4 players all trying to swing a leg at it. And effectively, that's where their goal came from, wasn't it? It was all a bit scruffy. Roos didn't really get much of a connection. People, not really getting rid of the ball at the first attempt. And they had other chances as well. So, yeah, if we'd gone 2-0 down at that point, I don't think we'd have had too much to say about it. And some of the decisions he made yesterday, like bringing Sirkin on and playing Hume, I think was partially to stop them getting down the flanks and throwing the ball into Mateta, because he's a right unit, isn't he? He's a big lad. And they also seem to be trying to set him off, balls through the middle, because he's obviously fast as well. So yeah, I did think we rode our luck, but once we equalised, fairly quickly, I think that's when the game changed and felt fairly comfortable for the last hour.
Yeah, Mateta, a bit of a player, and he was all right. Quickly on the chat, let's go back to this. SJ's Diarra playing right back. Wilkinson, no, get Hume out of midfield. He's saying Mackham Cabby says time to loan Mundle out or sell. He ain't Premiership standard, I'm afraid, he says. Emma, did we ride our luck a bit in the first half there?
Yeah, I mean, the first half, it was a bit sloppy, I'm going to say, in my opinion, at times. It's like leading to their goal. Xhaka, I don't want to slate Xhaka. He's fabulous. I love him, and he was brilliant second half. But I thought first half he was a bit off his game.
Sloppy.
And I don't know what it was, but second half, which I know we'll touch on, Xhaka was a lot better. But no, I do think that we were pushing it, and it was a bit sloppy. But then I'm sure we're going to come on to the referee as well at some point.
Right, okay. Johnny Cool says Lefebvre was sleeping for their goal. Dan Wilkes, Mundle played well, he thought, on Saturday. Like we say, it's a difference of opinion. Everybody's got their opinions, and you are entitled to it. Tell us all about it via the live chat. Terry, did we ride our luck first half?
Look, I mean, before the game started, like their head coach said he was leaving, and they sold the centre-back so it could go 2 ways. They could either get the players right up for the game, and they've lost 4 in the last 6 games, lost in the FA Cup to, a Northern League side. So they were going to try and obviously bounce back and try and win this game yesterday, but it was to stop them. And Mateta's that one hell of, like I say, a big unit. He's not going to be there next season at Crystal Palace. He's absolutely brilliant. And I thought we handled him quite well after the initial sort of first 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, I thought we were a bit sloppy early doors. Xhaka did make a mistake. But I mean, let's face it, how many mistakes does he make? He barely puts a foot wrong. He was instrumental for basically starting the play that led to the equaliser straight away. So he made amends, basically. But Crystal Palace have a good attacking side, the very difficult side. The goal that came was because, uncharacteristically, Roofs didn't really get the ball clear, and it was a good kick back into the box, and nobody was going to stop that. But yeah, I think sometimes at home we have started a bit slow and a bit sort of scratchy, and we take a bit getting warmed up. But we get warmed up, and we just never know when we beat them. That's the thing. We've got a good battling team performance, and we always know we've got a goal in us at home that we can always come back. So if we make mistakes, look, if Mateta's goal was onside, the second goal that was scored, that was VAR, was off. That was clearly offside. There might have been different cat to fish, but you know, to go in at half time 1-1, I thought, yeah, well, come on, second half, and we'll take the 3 points, really.
Yeah, all right. I'll bring you in just now, Emma. Yeah, Jim Buck on the chat says we will get onto VAR shortly. Apparently, VAR cost his last trip to Spain, so he must have had a bit of money on there. And well, Jim, good luck explaining that to your lass. Emma, you was one in there.
Yeah, just quickly on their goal. Is it down to Roofs going to punch the ball rather than trying to catch it? Or do you think that there was too many players around him to basically do anything other than punch it?
Well, Ian Wilkinson says Lefebvre watched him and Hume half asleep for their goal, apparently. So Johnny Kill saying Jacques is only human after all. Isn't that a song? Could be. Anyway. Okay, so Palace, they take the lead on 30 minutes. And already we was looking, like I said, we were riding our luck. I mean, fortunately, we bounced straight back. Were you confident of us doing that? Or did you think, oh, God, you know, eventually this... Because, I mean, this records are there to be broken. And now, you know, we're unbeaten at home. Terry, were you confident with just, like, bounce straight back?
Look, it's always at the back of your mind that at some point we may lose this season at home. We may have a bad game at home. Some team might just get a bit of stroke of luck and do well. We may lose our unbeaten record, but we do have this unbelievable sort of way of just never giving up and always have the bounce back factor. And we just, like Register Briss says, with the crowd, the team believes in themselves. And it's the first time in a long time I've seen like a team like ours, like the togetherness that we're in it together. And they bounce back together, and they've got a real belief in themselves. And so, like, you kind of always think they're going to come back, and basically straight away we get that goal, and it's like, yes, we just know how to react as soon as we go behind. Even with 2-0 down against Bournemouth, our heads didn't drop. We're straight back in it again, straight at them, So that's a fantastic attitude to have. And we as long as we can keep our home record going, we pick up points away from home, we'll be fine.
Yeah, definitely. Just quickly back to the chat. Captain Finch says, "Is Mr. Brobbey's knee okay?" SGSA says it was only cramp. Paul Robinson again about match of the day. We'll come to match of the day shortly. Ian Wilkins says, "Would you buy Mateta?" Emma, bounce straight back. Is it what you expected now, Sunderland? I mean, we are used to going behind and coming back and winning and stuff like that. So, or did you have that little doubt in your mind that this could be it?
Nah, I didn't have no doubt. I didn't expect it to score 2 minutes later, mind. I will say that much. But, I mean, yesterday morning as I was getting ready, I was asked how I'm feeling about the match. And I was like, I'm confident. I'm really confident. I said, we'll go behind and we'll come back and we'll win it, because that seems to be what we're doing. Because I don't know if it's just me in the way I think, but it seems like we need to concede for to get that bit oomph and that rocket up our backsides, if you like, to push for going. But I thought we'd go into half time, 1-0 down, and we'll come out, second half, score an early second half goal, and then go on to win it.
Right, okay. Shout out to Lee, who's joined us on the chat. Lee, who's part of the channel. You can normally see him on here. Black Cats Chat. Buenas noches from Bilbao. Poor first half, lacked intensity and urgency. Second half, much better. In control. Never looked like conceding. Mukiele, Brobbey, Lefebvre, the best players. Vamos. Gary, but we bounced straight back. Was it in the back of your mind? You think, well, could this be it when we lose this record?
I was listening to Gary Bennett last night on Radio Newcastle, and he was saying there was never any doubt in his mind that we would come back and win it. The callers was like saying the same thing. I've been watching Sunderland long enough to not be able to sort of like get to that stage. That's not in my DNA. On the contrary, on the way up yesterday, I was sort of thinking about the amount of times I've seen us play Palace at home, and it's been a letdown. The playoff in, was it 2004, being one of them. So yeah, that was just me being negative. We went 1-0 down, like Emma. I'm thinking, it's today the day the record's going to get broken. But once we pegged them back, and I said to my lad, I said, if we can get an early goal back here, then I think we'll be okay. And once that happened, I'd even allowing for the disallowed goal. I never felt we were in any danger. Once in second half, it was only a matter of time for me. I do think we struggle to break teams down sometimes, but there seems to be this just belief. They just keep plugging away. They keep moving the ball around. Teams get pinned back. I mean, Adam Wharton yesterday, who's I know highly rated. I don't think he could live with Xhaka and Siddiqui. And I love having Siddiqui back. What a player he is. He's just everywhere. I think he made a mistake yesterday, and for me, that's probably the first time all season. He's just been immense. So I think once we got hold of the ball, controlled the midfield, then I felt quite confident second half. And let's face it, we could have had a couple more, couldn't we? A couple of decent saves for the keeper, and it could have been 3 or 4.
Just very quickly back on the chat then. John Swinney, who's our friend who watches down in New Zealand. Hope everything's all right down there, John. Thanks for contributing. For the Palace goal, he says there's no way they're meant to do that. He just put it towards the back post. I thought that initially, but then when I've watched it again, I'm less convinced that I think he did all he could, sort of like get it towards goal, and it it came off for him. All right, just very quickly, we've got 46 likes at the moment. We do like to get 100 if we can on a Sunday. We've got over 100 people already tuned in on the stream. So give us a thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up. It'll take you a second to do that. Give us a like. Let's get those numbers up. Let's get them to 100. And once again, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Free to subscribe, and it does really does help us out. Enzo Lefebvre then, his goal, took the goal, great. I mean, I'm assuming he gave Brobbey a shout. It was in front of him. Brobbey left it for him, put it away. He's really sort of coming into his own now. He's sort of, I mean, he was good last season for us, and he stood out. I thought, but he stood out in a championship side. But he's now, he's starting to sort of really produce the goods for us here. So, is he going to get even better? And I'll link that with 1-1 at half time. Was that a fair result as going in 1-1 at half time, Terry? Terry, what does it helps if you unmute yourself? Cheers.
That's all right. Nobody wants to hear me anyway.
Listen, no, it wouldn't be a Sunday if you didn't do one of them without you unmuting yourself. Go on.
There's me coughing all the way through everybody else talking. Anyway, right. Enzo Lefebvre, his head could have gone down after that penalty. He could have gone in his shell and he could have gone backwards. But no, it just shows you the quality of the man, that he's bounced back so quickly and so soon after making an error. And it just shows you that the talent he has. Whether he can get any better, I don't know. But at the end of the day, we saw yesterday, he tracked back a lot. He's up and down the pitch. He does his defensive duties as well as going forward. And I would have thought he would give Brobbey a bit of a shout, because that goal itself was a really good worked goal. From just before Xhaka passed the ball through to Mukele, completely broke open their defence. Two of them in the box. Good to see Brobbey in the box. But good to see Enzo Lefebvre getting there as well, because a lot of times Brobbey's on his own. So to have another person in the box might have took Crystal Palace by surprise. And again, it was just lovely. The skill to place it in the bottom corner. Absolutely fantastic. To go in at time, I was over the moon to go in at 1-1. I thought Crystal Palace was slightly the better side in the first half. I was definitely frightened of Mateta. And I feel like Crystal Palace, if you take away the flanks, to just try and look the ball forward, but we've got Ballard and already, we just put Mateta in the back pocket second half.
Yeah, definitely. Just quickly go to the chat before I come to you lot. Mick Griffiths says in the second half, We were different class. Yeah, indeed. Ian Wilkinson says, do we invest and go for Champions League? The opportunity is there, 4 points. SGS Champions League, no chance apparently. Taffy Mackham, late to the party. We love Taffy Mackham. He's been here from the very start. And of course, Taffy Mackham says, we have Mr. Brobbey up front. The Mags have Noel Edmonds. There you go then. Gary, Enzo really starting to shine now. And was 1-1 at half-time a fair result?
I think 1-1 was probably fair for the first half, yeah. I think we finished well, but that disallowed goal could have changed things. I think he was... I'm in the north stands, so I couldn't see, but he looked well offside from where I was. So I don't think it was too much in doubt. Enzo Lafay, shout out for Reggie Labrie, because at the start of the season, Lafay wasn't in the first 11, remember. It looked as though it was going to be Diarra and Siddiqui and Zaka in the middle. And of course, last season we had him on the left wing, didn't we? But I think his position previously has been midfield. I could be wrong, but I suspect the message to him was, if you want to play central midfield, you're going to have to start putting yourself around and start competing and getting up and down the pitch a bit more than maybe we'd seen him up till this season. So at the start of the season, I don't think he was kind of that impressive. But as he's moved on, I think he's become absolutely central to the way we play. And if we can get him alongside Brobbey more often, because we know Brobbey's strength, if he can bring Lafay in or just distract while Lafay find some space as he did yesterday, then I can only see him, to answer your question, getting better. I think he's immense. I think his ball skills are fantastic. He's really putting himself around. He's up and down the pitch. And penalty apart, I think the last 3 or 4 games, he's been our best player.
Yeah, definitely. Emma, are his balls fantastic?
Well, I haven't seen his balls apart from what he puts on his foot.
All right, hang on. Just from you. Coffee Goblin says Enzo is better after that penalty. These things that happen, though. I mean, that taking that penalty, you can learn from them and you can grow. And maybe the good thing to take from it, because like Terry said, it could have quite easily gone the opposite way and just he could have disappeared off the face of the earth, really. Emma, Enzo, is he becoming like the real deal now? And was 1-1 half-time result? Was that a fair result?
1-1 going in half-time, yeah. I think it is a fair result, to be honest with you. In terms of Enzo, he's one of these where, to me, he seems to be getting better and better, but he will still have his off days and his off passes and things. I mean, as Terry touched on that penalty, I think, obviously, watching the Everton game and stuff, and then watching him again yesterday, it was like his head's come up higher. He's took away from that, and it's like he's got a point to prove. I just hope that this is an Enzo at his peak and doing everything that he's capable of, because I think Enzo is fantastically suited for the Premier League. I really do. I just don't want Enzo to come back from that penalty like what he has and burn himself out, because I think he is quite important to the way we are playing at the minute.
Right, okay. Terry, you want in there?
Yeah, I think Enzo has shown how good of a person he is and the quality of the man. And I think also a lot of credit's got to go towards the fans as well, because I think after the initial sort of the penalty, this next few days, the fans really got behind Enzo Lafay. And I think even at the Everton game, they were really shouting his name. So that's got to give him a lot of confidence to know that, he's still well loved at the club, even after making a mistake where, sometimes social media can be toxic.
Right, okay. Edward Young coming in on the chat there says I can see him going 4-4-1-1 to accommodate Enzo and Diarra.
Does Enzo not just play like a number 10 role for you? Like, do you not think he plays a number 10 role? I thought he plays more like a number 10 role.
Lafay?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I describe it at the moment. Yeah, he's very
I don't think he's like central midfield. He's more like a sort of like I say, number 10 further up the field, just behind Brobbey, isn't he? Yeah.
That's how that's why the Diarra thing's sorry, Philly.
No, go on, Kerry.
No, I was going to say that's why the Diarra thing's a bit of a mystery in terms of you know, you can't drop Lafayette at the moment, can you?
Yeah, but do you not think Diarra will come on and replace Hume and Traore for the moment? Because I think he doesn't really like the out-and-out wingers. He prefers a midfielder to go down the right-hand side and be able to come inside. So I can see Diarra coming on, starting in Hume's position.
Right, okay. Well, I mean, however it works at the moment, you've got to accommodate Lafayette, really. You know, I mean, he's just... I mean, I'm sure, you know, we trust in Reggie. He knows what he's doing. He's done a superb job so far anyway. John Swinney comes on and says Diarra has been playing wide right for Senegal. And Ian Wilkinson agrees with Terry. So there you go. You got a fan there, Terry. Right then, second half. I want to quickly sort of get more or less straight onto this this Mundle penalty thing, right? He gets into the box. He's dragged down by their player, and no penalty. I mean, and it was waved. Apparently, VAR just didn't really look at it. It was sort of just waved away straight away, and then pretty much soon after. It was an identical foul the other way around, us on the Palace player, and a foul was given. And it's beyond me. Gary, do you think that was a penalty when Mundle was pulled down?
Well, I haven't seen it back at the time. Again, I'm the opposite side of the stadium, but it looked to me as though, you know, there was contact. He went down. You know, when everybody else stands up in the south stand, everybody reacted immediately, and it's, you know, usually means something's happened. I've not watched it back, but at the time I thought it was a penalty. I know you're going to get onto the referee, but I mean, you know, what was going on with him yesterday? Absolute lunatic, and he gave no protection to Brobbey whatsoever. That's why one of the reasons I'm glad Brobbey scored, because the ref gave him nothing, and the defenders were all over him. So yeah, let's talk about that referee, because that was a disaster. Yeah,
all right. We'll get on to the referee next. Terry, was it a penalty for you?
Oh yeah, I think Rob Jones's new name's Nob Jones. To be honest, I mean, let's face it. It was. Does it make a difference if the player behind him's stumbling and falling himself? If he falls over and smacks another player to the ground, has a chance of scoring a goal, it's still a penalty. I don't understand. VAR for me is just completely gone backwards this season. The second half, like the last sort of half of the first half of the season, I mean, I watched that game yesterday, the Manchester derby. There was like a challenge on someone's knee. Could have been a career-wrecking challenge, and just because it didn't put him out of the game doesn't mean it wasn't a flipping red card. That was definitely a penalty. Like I said, it happened in other parts of the pitch where players were getting pushed and they were getting free kicks. So what's the difference? Why are VAR just so bothered about giving penalties to certain teams, and other teams will get away with it, and other teams will be given penalties for I've seen penalties given for worse than that, to be honest. So yeah, at the moment, it's a moment in time. I don't know what's going on with VAR, but it's not fair, and it's not giving the correct decisions.
Yeah, I agree. The VAR thing. It just, if it was consistent as well, because it's just so up and down. Just very quickly on the chat, SJ says definitely a push. Ian Wilkinson, definitely a penalty. SJ wasn't looking at the ball. Johnny Cool, it was a pen. John Swinney, bizarre decision. Defo, a pen. Like I say, what's the point of VAR being there if it's not even? It's just astounding. Emma, Mundle dragged to the ground in the penalty area. Was it a penalty in your eyes?
100% it was, and if it was the other way around, Palace would be doing that dinger that they didn't get it. But then, like what you have said, is the fact that we went in for a challenge pretty much the same, and they got a free kick. So why didn't we get a penalty for it? At the end of the day, it all boils down to consistency again. But 100% a penalty.
Right, okay, Terry, you want in there?
It's this new like sort of protocol where they're just going along with the referee. What's the point having VAR if you're always going to go along with what the referee does and what the referee says? If the referee give a penalty, VAR would have agreed with the referee that it was a penalty. It's like They're getting paid for absolutely nothing just to go along with what the referee does. The referee is only human. He may not see it. He may make a mistake. That's the reason VAR is there for blatant and obvious errors. And that was a blatant and obvious error yesterday. He pushed him down. He fell into him. He just brought him down. Simple penalty. It's not easy. It's not even difficult to give.
Right, okay. Just very quickly back to the chat. Mick Griffith says, I don't know why it is with referees this season. It's not just our games. It was the same this afternoon. Johnny Cool, I'm sure brown envelopes are passed. And can we give a massive shout out and a round of applause, please, to Taffy Mackham. Round of applause, Taffy Mackham. Thank you very much. Taffy Mackham says, keep up the great work. And he's donated £5 via the super chat. Thanks to you for that. Don't forget, you can use the super chat if you'd like to donate to the channel. There's a little $sign at the bottom of the chat there. Click on that. Pick how much you'd like to donate, and you can do that. But it is free to comment as well if you wish to do so. Gary.
Yeah, I just want to chip in on the VAR thing because it's one of my pet hates. I've got to say, first of all, when we came into the Premier League, I really wasn't looking forward to it. So it's not been that bad for us, I think, in the main. I think sometimes it's works in our favour or things have passed, and I'm quite glad VAR hasn't looked at them. What I will say is that I don't think, and based on what I've heard, referees, I can't remember what they call the group that Howard Webb's, is it PG Mall or something like that? They don't want VAR. They'd fought against VAR. They didn't want it. They didn't want the bother and people having to investigate what they've done and the decisions they've made. And I just don't think they've bought into it at all. I think they see it as a get out more than anything else. And I think sometimes they avoid making tough decisions, partially because they've got a bloke in their ear telling them stuff. It's like, if I let this one go, what will happen? Will they bring me back? I just think the whole thing's... I'm not against the technology. I think the whole thing's just confused. You've got different people with different opinions. What was it, the Mags game? During the 5.5 minutes to make a decision?
Yeah.
Come on. That, like Terry said, where's that? How's that clear and obvious? It's not clear and obvious, is it?
Yeah.
And I haven't seen ours back, but the Liverpool one yesterday, he's barely touched him. But because it's Anfield, lad's gone down, Gakpo's gone down, and it's a penalty. And you think, well, that's just nonsense. So you don't even got a consistent, like yesterday. There's no consistency within the game from one referee. So expecting it across different referees and VAR and on the pitch, it's a disaster for me. It's an absolute disaster, and they need to withdraw it.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, and just for me, the consistency of it as well. It is so inconsistent. Terry, before I bring you in there, ref should have sent Wharton off and chose not to give him a second yellow. That's Tony Lee. And just very quickly, once again, before we go to you, Terry, a round of applause for Jim Buck. Woo! Donated £5 by the super chat. Thanks to Jim for that. Thank you very much. Terry, you was one in there?
Yeah, maybe if the referees don't want it in the first place, maybe they shouldn't be involved with it. Maybe they should be employing ex-footballers to come and be on the panel and to sort it out properly and to be honest about it. Or, like I say, if you got like a Northeast derby, you'd have someone maybe who played for London to do it. I don't know, but if the referees don't want it and they want to make bad decisions just because they're in the huff because they can't be bothered to do it, then sack the fuckers and get some ex-players to do it or someone else to do it. Yeah.
Is that somebody played for what, London FC? Are you on about?
Doesn't matter. Anywhere other.
Mick Griffiths, VAR is a farce. The goal Man City disallowed the other night against the Mags. I mean, that was ridiculous as well, and not just because it was against the Mags. It was just ridiculous. Absolutely.
Right. Just on that one, Philly. Sorry, just chip in. What they really did there was bottle making a decision, because Haaland and whoever the Mag was, they were pushing each other. So the first decision that should have been given, well, who started that? Who made the first foul? If you've got the guts to give a foul, you don't get into the whole offside thing. But
I think originally, I think at the end they give it offside because he had maybe like an inch of his arm was offside or something, but that was it.
Yeah, but when you look at it,
interfering. Well, he obviously is, but they shouldn't have come to that.
Oh, it's ridiculous. SJ Siddiqui, he thought Robbie getting cramp was funny. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that. Where they're laughing at it. We'll quickly get on it. Right, I'll tell you what. Listen, before we do the referee, we'll do the referee next. All right, but I have got to go to our sponsors and give them a mention. Of course, Wolf Competitions are sponsoring SAFC Fan TV this season, and a massive thank you to them because they really have helped the channel out. Now, people are saying how much is it on the site and stuff like this, and what can you win? Now, there is a link in the description, wolfcompetitions.co.uk. All right, if you go on there now, I'll tell you right for free. All right, we are doing a competition at the moment, right? And I'll quickly bring this up. All right, we're giving away that Merc. All right, so that Mercedes, all right, is being given away. Now, this is how it works, right? You can win that for free, right? You don't have to pay to enter, right? So what you need to do is you go on to wolfcompetition.co.uk, go on the Merc site. You're allowed, we're going to give you 5 free tickets. Everybody's going to get 5 free tickets. So go on. If you're not signed up, just sign up, put your details in. All right. You got 5 free tickets. Get in there and you could win yourself, right? That car there, all right? It's a Merc and it's free. So why wouldn't you do that? So get yourself onto Wolf Competitions now. Get on there, and you got a chance to win that Mercedes-Benz, all right, for free for absolutely nothing. Terry.
Yeah, I'm a technophobe, so I just log onto my account and I have to go onto the Mercedes part of the competitions. Right,
what you do, right? You go onto wolfcompetitions.co.uk. Go on there, right? And you'll see it's got all the different competitions they're running at the moment. You'll see the picture of the car. If you click on it, if you're not already registered on the site, all you're doing, you're just putting your details and you're just putting your name and address and stuff like that. And, all right, and then you're registered, right? You can then you'll click on the Mercedes thing. You will then be given 5 free tickets for the draw. All right, there you go. Emma's showing us down there. All right, that's what you do. So click on there. Why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you do it? It's free. It's free. Get on there. You've got as good a chance as anybody else for winning a brand new. Well, it's not a brand new car, but it's a Mercedes-Benz. All right. So there you go. Gary's having a go now already. So and that's all on wolfcompetition.co.uk. Loads of different competitions. We change people's lives. Money you can win. Just everything on there. If you're not being on, check it out. And once again, massive big thank you to Wolf Competitions for sponsoring SAFC Fan TV this season. Gary, referee, away you go.
Where do I start? Well, my favourite bit is Alderete getting taken off the pitch after treatment. He never didn't have any treatment. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was sort of like right in front of Terry. You're in the North Stand as well, aren't you? So it was fairly close to where you were.
He was trying to say a head injury, wasn't he? He got hit in the side of the face and that, but yeah. Just ridiculous.
Well, you see, the players are saying we don't need the physio, we don't need the medical guys on. The players are waving them back, and the referee's trying to wave him on. So the referee's telling our physios what to do, and then they obviously come round. They don't know if they're coming or going. It was just a farce. I know they don't want players play acting and all the rest of it, but if it is a potential injury, head injury, he's got to give the lad a chance to at least come round and have a look around, decide what he's doing. But we've already said no medical treatment's required. He still forced him off the pitch. Well, that's just not the rule. So what's that all about? Is he making up his own rules as he goes along? I've already said Bobby got no protection. He was inconsistent at times for both teams. The Palace fans are having a go at him. Our fans are having a go at him. Consistently inconsistent. Just terrible. And some of them this season. The League One standard reminds me of 2 or 3 years ago in League One. Just absolute garbage. And VAR hasn't helped them. I don't know, just hopeless.
Right, okay. Just quickly back to the chat. Lee in Spain says, give the car to Tino. Johnny Cool, no, white cars get dirty too quickly. SJ says, well, sell it then. Miles Percival, the ref made him go off, which is exactly what you're saying there, Gary. Emma, the referee for you yesterday.
Yeah, just touching back to that incident, trying to get him back onto the pitch as well. Felt like it was a good couple of minutes. That was a bit of a joke in itself, trying to get him back on. But no, I think the ref was. I think the ref was paid, to be honest. He was too biased. I mean, they were all over us, constantly hands-on. Robbie, they were literally climbing on his back, and the ref wasn't doing anything. But the second we did something, he was blowing for them. And it was just like, what's going on? Why is everything going to them and not us? There's just, as we've said, there's no consistency. It's just, at one point, I actually shouted, you need to get your specs on. Do you know what I mean? I was getting that frustrated with the referee. But then I got told that I had to calm down.
Was there no bad language?
Yeah, she's not telling
I'm
us
keeping
the
it
full story
PC here, Terry. I'm keeping it PC for the sake of the channel, so we don't get banned.
Emma, there's no way you share to the ref, get your specs on, because every other word, when you're the match, every other word is an expletive, I'm telling you. All right,
tell you she's a lady. She wouldn't use such language.
Gary,
Gary,
she's a lady.
Did I mention I had red wine with me tea earlier? That's the problem.
Yeah. Terry, the referee for you.
Yeah, infuriating. Honest to God, I think he's been the worst one I've seen so far. There's been a few bad ones, but I think he's been one of the worst ones I've seen. So I just feel for Brobbey. End of the day, Brobbey's doing a great job. He's doing what he needs to be doing. He's getting punished for being a good player. Simple as. He's getting his shirt tugged all over. He's being jumped upon. He's being held down. At one point in this, after the half time, I was thinking, you may as well take Brobbey off and put somebody else on, because he's just getting nothing off the referee. He's working his socks off, and he's being punished for doing a good job. And luckily, Regis the Briss knows more than me, because he scored that winner, didn't he? So I'm pleased he didn't take him off. But yeah, it's just driving me absolutely mad. And everybody else around us, we're just like, what the hell is he doing? Knob Jones. What an absolute knob. At the end of the day, he used to have head the balls on the pitch. Now we've got head the ball buddy refereeing as well. Jesus.
Right, okay, there you go. A big fan of, Knob Jones, as he'll be forever known on this channel now. Fonz, 1971. Hey, if you're old enough to remember. Football isn't football anymore, full of buffoons. Johnny Cool says he felt sorry for them after Macclesfield dumped them out the cup down there. And Miles Percival, he doesn't believe Emma uses bad language. Oh, God. Honestly, if the pit was still open, she could work down there. Put it like that. Right, okay. Just very quickly, we've got 80 likes at the moment. So 20 more people hit that thumbs up. That gets us to our 100. We've got 130 odd people on the stream at the moment. So hit the thumbs up. It'll take you a second to do that. Let's get to 100. And don't forget, of course, if you're watching and you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. It is free to do so. Right, so Brobbey's got his goal, took it well, great, superb. Trey Hume afterwards should have scored, really. I mean, I know the goalie tipped it over. Was that a bad miss from Trey Hume? Terry?
Well, I think he should have scored in the first half, to be honest, with a header. I thought that was more of an easier chance for a footballer than the one in the second half, because at the end of the day, he's on a bit of an angle. He could have put it in the corner. Look, he's not a natural finisher, is he? Let's face it, he's a right back. He's not meant really to be in the box trying to put the ball in the back of the net the majority of the game. So I think he's doing a good job. End of the day, he's definitely doing a good job, but he just hasn't that killer instinct in the box, unfortunately. It may come in time, but I think we've got other players who can come in who will probably do a better job. I prefer Trey Hume as a right back, but at the moment you've got Mew Cayley who is the better right back at the moment, aren't you? So it's good to have backup. So it's good to have. I would have had Trey Hume. Look, Trey Hume had a decent game yesterday. He made one or two. He had one or two chances, and end of the day, he just didn't hit the target, and he didn't put the ball in the right part of the the goal. So it is what it is. We still won, so I'm not really bothered.
Yeah, he's still got a good shot on him though, Trey Hume.
Oh yeah, he's had
I
some
know-
good shots this season. He just hasn't been able to score. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's not. I know he's not a striker, but like you say, he can. You know, he has some good efforts down there. Just very quickly on the chat, Captain Finch says it was a bad miss, but Hume doing well apparently. Emma, was it a bad miss from Hume, or you know, should he have done better? Because I mean, at 2-1, we was hoping for that. Well, I had my 2-1 bet on, so I wasn't hoping for an extra goal, but still, my nerves were. Should he have done better on that shot?
He could have done better. That's the way I'm going to put it. Not that he should have, he could have, because Hume did have a good game yesterday, so I'm not going to knock the lad. But I think he should have done a bit better first half, but I'm not going to knock him. He could have done better.
Right, okay. Gary, same with you. Should he have I mean, to be fair, it was on target. You know, it did get saved. So, but should he have done better? Could he put it either side of the keeper?
I think in that situation, if anybody's expecting finesse from Trey Hume, you're going to be badly disappointed. That's not his game, is it? He's going to put his foot through it and have a go. He hit it well. I thought it was a superb save. Yeah, you might look back and say he's going to do something different, but he's not a striker. He's a right back playing further forward. And if Henderson hadn't made a brilliant save and it hit the back of the net with the force at which he put his boot through it, we'd have thought was absolutely wonderful. So I'm not going to be, like Emma, I'm not going to criticise him. I was worried about him at the start of the season. I wasn't sure he was going to live up to Premier League standards, but I think, particularly in the last month, I think he's been immense. And I think Reggie gives him that freedom because, again, he gets up and down the pitch. He's definitely got a shot on him, and that goal will come. So, no, I'm not going to criticise him.
Yeah, and if it had hit the back of the net, that would have been me 45 quid down. Terry, go on and you go.
Yeah, look, I mean, end of the day, if Henderson was the Sunderland keeper, I'd be disappointed to let that goal in. So, I mean, I think most keepers should be saving that type of shot, to be honest.
Right, okay. As per usual, time's catching up on us here. So let's quickly address this match of the day thing, where I don't know if you've seen it or not. Not only were we not mentioned, I thought Shearer absolutely took the piss with what he said. Basically said he knew we weren't going to talk about Sunderland. He knew it was going to be all Palace, but decided to go. I had loads to say about Sunderland, but of course the producers told me we've got to move on with this. Basically taking the piss, which for me was worse than not talking about us at all. Gary, did you see match of the day?
I got back in last night just as that came on. Didn't see the rest of the highlights, but I saw him. Look, let's be honest. I mean, who cares what Shearer's got to say? And I'm serious about that. I certainly don't care what Wayne Rooney's got to say. I don't. In terms of punditry, I don't really respect either of them. They don't tell me anything new or different. You know, I don't particularly like Gary Neville, but at least, you know, sometimes he says stuff and you can learn from what he says. But I couldn't give a monkey's what those two say. Shearer's just playing pantomime villain. He wasn't like this last time we were in the Premier League. Sometimes he was quite complimentary. But he's just playing up to it. And they said something at the end about Alan's going to give his comment. I don't care. I just don't care. It's all about social media. It's all about Alan's playing up to this Sunderland hating kind of thing. I don't give a toss about Shearer. And by the way, if anybody thinks that their comments are worth listening to, Rooney and Shearer, look at what they did in management between the pair of them, because they were both an absolute disaster. And to me, that tells you all you need to know. Danny Murphy, I don't mind. There's various other people I don't mind, but those two, forget it. I'd turn the sound down rather than listen to them. Don't give them monkeys.
Fair comment, Gary. Yeah, I mean, if you look at their managerial records, yeah, I suppose so. Emma, before I go to you, Ian Wilkinson says Shane Brobbey's goal deserved a mention. Emma, did you see match of the day?
No, I didn't, but if Mary Poppins was on, it doesn't bloody surprise us that he wasn't asked about us. He's living up to his name. Do you know what I mean? And that's all I'm going to say on him. because everybody knows where he is apart from being illegitimate.
Yeah, and he wears one of those hats.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I was going, but I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, right. Okay. Terry, match of the day?
Yeah, look, I watch it every Sunday morning. I usually flick through, fast forward it. I don't even know who the pundits are until I watch the Sunderland game. And then afterwards, I seen those two, and I was like, well, I'm not really interested in what they've got to say. But they didn't talk about us anyway. So he's just probably just a bit jealous at the moment, this moment in time. But yeah, I prefer the other pundits that are on, like Gary said. And yeah, I'd much rather have Roy Keane on there, but he's on a different channel altogether.
Right, okay. Ian Wilkinson says spot on, Gary. He totally agrees with what you had to say there. Right, okay, because there's a couple of things I do need to move on to. So just very quickly, man of the match, Terry?
Yeah, I'll give it to Brobbey just because Nob Jones wouldn't give him anything, and he had to really. It was battling against the forwards and the referee, and he still scored a goal. So yeah, for me, it was a really good all-round team performance. Second half, Mienda hit the post. I think their keeper hit it, passed onto the post. Ballard had a chance, one or two other sniffs. We could have won 3 or 4-1 towards the end. So we do come on strong. Never say die attitude. We've gotten loads of points from losing positions, which is just shows the attitude of the players. So it's hard to give someone a man of the match because the team performance was great in the second half. So I'll give it to Brobbey though.
Thanks for keeping that brief, Terry. Well done. Emma,
one if you want.
Yeah, I know you could, but please don't. Emma, man of the match.
Brobbey. I'm going with Terry. Nordy is a very close one for it, but I'm going with Brobbey mainly because they were all over him and he never let it faze him, basically, and he got the goal. So
fantastic. All right, superb. Gary, man of the match for you?
Yeah, unanimous, Brobbey. Got to be. It's the stick he took and then to get that winner. I was impressed with Lafay yesterday, as I've been last few games. But yeah, Brobbey all over. He was the standout for me and well deserved. I would say about Nordy though, I know a lot of people rate him very, very highly, but he gives me kittens sometimes at the back when he gives the ball away. He did it at Brentford. I know he's technically a very good footballer, but he just worries me sometimes. So I'm just a little bit. I'm not sure there, but I know he's got plenty of fans. Anyway, Brobbey for me. There's another long answer for you.
Right, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just his hold-up play and everything. It's just everything about him. Captain Finch on the chat. Brobbey, no, not player of the match. You can't say man of the match. On this channel, it's
man of the match. All right. It is man of the match.
It's not player of the match, all right?
It boils me.
All right, all blokes on there. All right, why would it be player of the match? It doesn't need to be anything else other than man of the match. All right, didn't get us started on wokeness because otherwise, me and Terry, and I imagine Gary, you're of that generation. Honestly, it's a completely different show. That right, quickly before
you just made a presumption there. I'm offended. Can't believe it.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe you should use Botox or something possibly. Just very quickly before we move on to our new signing and a quick look at the West Ham game coming up. Are we 7 points from safety? Are we a step nearer to Europe? Emma? Anytime you want, there you go.
Say that again in English.
I said, are we now 7 points from safety? We're 7 points off 40 points, aren't we? Or are we a step closer to Europe?
We've been safe for weeks, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? So to me, it's one step closer to Europe because for us not to be safe, we've got to lose every other game this season and every other team's got to win. Can you see that happening? Because I can't.
Right, fair enough. All right, Gary, step closer to Europe, or are you looking at as 7 points? That's a safe.
I agree with Emma. I think any talk now of relegations are nonsense. I've thought that since the middle of December. Can't remember who we beat, but anyway, from that point onwards, I'm thinking that put any doubts, beyond beyond further thought. It's so congested. I just think we've got to be careful. But what I would say is the next run of games, Arsenal, I think we've got Arsenal and Liverpool, but West Ham and Burnley before that, we'll be picking points up. There's points to be picked up. Other teams will lose form. So top 10. I think Kirill pretty much said that, didn't he? He was looking at top 10 once we got to a certain level. And that's one of the reasons I'd like to see a bit of fresh blood come in this transfer window. I know the lad's come in from the Israeli club. Don't know much about him. I think he might be one for the future. But I think just something to push us forward, and who knows what we can achieve. Europe's not out of the question, but we should definitely be looking at top 10 because I think we've been one of the top 10 teams in the Premier League this season. So why not?
Right, okay. On the chat then, Ian Wilkinson says 3 points from the Champions League. SJ says still need 40 points. Don't care what anyone says. Terry, 7 points to 40, or are we looking at Europe now, in your eyes?
Look, it's very, very close towards the top. 3 points between fourth and us. So, there's lots to play for. We're 16 points above the drop. I think last season, the bottom three, the third off bottom was 20-odd points. The season before that, the bottom three, Sheffield United, 16 points, Burnley, 24, Luton, 26, Forest, 32. Look, we've got 33 points for me. So, basically, we're not going to win another game for the rest of the season. What a lot of shite. We're safe. For me, in my opinion, we're safe. Simple as.
Terry, your memory is superb to just recall all those stats.
I have another phone here just in case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right then, just very quickly, 6 more people. Hit the thumbs up, give us a like. Let's get us to 100 before we finish the show. Jocelyn, is it Tarby or something? Is that how it's pronounced? 20-year-old winger. I know nothing about him. Is he one to come straight in, or is he one who's going to be developed? What do we know about that? Terry, you're normally on the ball with things like this.
Yeah, he's just a young lad, isn't he, from Ivory Coast, I think it is. He's a right winger with a left foot. Only 20-year-old. I think he's definitely one for the future. He won't be thrown in at the deep end anytime soon. I think it's a 4.5-year contract with a chance to extend another year. So he may get on the bench, obviously, in maybe a few games' time, or it might not be for 10 games' time, but there's no way he's going to be starting games of football this season anyway. But yeah, it's good to have these youngsters coming through. We do really well with young talent. Siddiqui, he's just a young kid come from nowhere and he starts every game. You got the likes of, we're bringing the older players as well. So I think he's a player for the future, probably next season more than this season.
Right, okay. Gary, do you know anything about him?
Just the clips I've seen. I've not heard much about him. I don't know what he's done at international level, but obviously a lot of the players we've signed have come from the top European leagues. So it's not been such a leap for them to come into the Premier League, but he's been playing in the Israeli First Division's called. So I think to expect him to come in the Premier League might be a bit much. But it would I'm not unhappy with any of our wingers, but I think that's the area where we're lacking some top quality. Somebody really getting down the flanks, bit of speed, bit more trickery, getting quality balls in. And we're going to miss Traore because I thought he was just coming into in good form when we lost him to AFCON. So yeah, that's the area I'd like to see is strengthened, but I don't think this lad's the finished article yet. So it might take a year or so.
Right, okay. Ian Wilkinson on the chat says the new lad's another Ahmad. He also says he's injured at the minute, but SJ says he doesn't think he is. Emma, do you know anything about him? And should he go straight in, or what where we're at?
All I know is that he's a winger, and he's a young 20-year-old. That's literally all I know. But no, I don't think he should go straight into the team. I think he should sort of start him like with the under-21s and stuff, and let him build up his fitness and get used to playing like the way Reggie plays effectively, and then maybe towards the end of the season start putting him on the bench and then bring him on for the last 10-15 minutes to give him that run.
Right, okay. I was going to go on to transfers, but we're going to probably have to leave that till next week now, and who we need in, who we think we can get in. There might maybe some new bodies come in the meantime anyway that we can discuss next week. Already we've got 102 likes, so thanks to you a lot for that. I'm quickly going to have to skip over the West Ham game. It's an away match. Would you take a draw now, Gary?
No, fancy us. And you'll know that's unusual for me. Super cynical and you know, very rare going to games expecting to win, but I did yesterday, and West Ham's home form is terrible. And the fans are organising a protest, which, you know, I'll credit to them for doing that. But you know, if the players are already worried about playing in front of that crowd, and they, you know, they're quite well, they've been very critical, then I can't see that's doing the team any favours on the day. I know they had a good win yesterday against Spurs, and I do believe Nuno's a very good manager, so I can see them putting a run together. But I think just on what I've seen this season, we're a better team. I think this could be the first double of the season, home and away. So I quite fancy us. You know, 2-0 maybe.
Right, okay. Emma, would you take a draw now?
Yes, because it's our away form that worries me this season. So yes, I would take the point right now, because the away form, I don't know how we're going to fare up, but the thing is, I know we could beat them. If we put everything into it, we could beat them.
Right, okay. Terry, point in the bag now.
I think some of these teams are starting to turn the table and getting some good results in now. I mean, the Wolves drew today, Burnley drew against Liverpool yesterday, West Ham won, Forest won. So I think, end of the day, if you said 7 points after 3 games against Crystal Palace, West Ham, and Burnley, I'd be happy with that. So as long as we can beat Burnley at home, a point's a good result at West Ham.
Right, okay, fair enough. Right, let's take a prediction from you, then we'll wrap it up then. Emma, West Ham United versus Sunderland, Saturday, 12:30 kickoff. Prediction?
Although I'll take the point now, I'm going to say 1-0 to us.
Right, okay. Gary?
Typical woman, changes her mind within a minute. You might get confused.
I've got to have the faith in the team, Gary. Come on.
2-0 Sunderland.
Right, fantastic.
Away win.
Terry?
Just because you would take a point doesn't mean that's your prediction, though, does it? So I'm going to go for a 1-0 win as well.
Were we asking for consistency earlier from referees?
This is totally different, Gary. Totally different.
Consistency from us.
Would you take a point? Yes, I'd take a point. Would you take 3 points? Yes, I would take 3 points. Definitely don't want to lose.
Right. Okay. Listen, I always predict 2-1, which is me bet. I always put on, and I never get my prediction right, so I always lose me bet. So of course, last week, instead of betting 2-1, instead of predicting 2-1, I predicted something different, 3-1 or whatever it was, and of course 2-1 came up. So I'm predicting Sunderland 3-0. All right, and hope that it's 2-1 to Sunderland, and that'll do me. So, listen, thanks, everybody. Enjoyed tonight. Great. Thanks for everybody in the chat. There's all sorts of predictions coming in. 2-1, the lads, Ian says. James says West Ham 1-0. Ben Rowling going for a 2-1 to the lads. Captain Finch 3-0 to the lads down there. And the last time Captain Finch was at the London Stadium, he saw the Olympics there. Right then, that really does wrap it up from us. Would you like to say bye to everybody, Gary?
Yeah, bye to everybody, Gary.
Thank you. Very predictable, but thanks anyway. Emma?
Yeah, bye, everyone.
No, bye everyone, Gary. All right, there you go. And Terry?
Yeah, enjoy your week, folks. Enjoy this nice win in 3 points this week, and hopefully 3 points next week.
Superb. Thanks again to Wolf Competitions for sponsoring our channel this season. Don't forget, there is a link in the description, wolfcompetitions.co.uk. Get on there, even if it's just to enter for free for the Mercedes-Benz. Get yourself on there, get yourself signed up. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell your pals. And if you are a member of our channel, then watch for your name in the credits at the end. Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.